You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for free options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in option trader education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's live Advantage group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is April 26th, 2018. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story today is the top 5 things to know in the market on Thursday. That comes by way of investing.com. Amazon, Microsoft, and Intel earnings are in focus. Amazon results are due out after the market close, and they'll be today's main event as a busy week for earnings rolls along. Investors will be looking for updates on Amazon's agreements with the United States Postal Service after President Donald Trump in recent weeks has taken aim at the company, saying the USPS agreements with Amazon are not a level playing field. Analysts are also likely to ask about the company's integration with Whole Foods, which it bought in the summer of 2017 for $14 billion, the biggest acquisition in Amazon's history. Second thing to know today is U.S. stock futures point to an encouraging open. U.S. stock futures pointed to an encouraging open, which we have seen play out, as investors looked ahead to the latest deluge of corporate earnings. The third thing to know is the dollar and yields remain supported ahead of fresh batch of data. The dollar traded near a 3.5-month high against a basket of currencies, and U.S. Treasury yields remained elevated, close to their recent peaks, as investors looked ahead at a fresh batch of U.S. economic data, of course. The U.S. dollar index was a shade lower at 90.95 after touching an overnight high of 91.11, the most since January 12th. The 10-year U.S. Treasury yield stood at 3.005%, staying above the 3% threshold, but pulling back from a 4-year peak of 3.035% scaled on Wednesday. The fourth thing to know today is the European Central Bank policy meeting is afoot. The European Central Bank is widely expected to keep policy unchanged at the conclusion of today's policy meeting, while leaving the door open to ending its 2.5 trillion euro stimulus program by the end of the year. President Mario Draghi will hold a closely watched press conference after the rate announcement, at which he is expected to deliver remarks on the current economic state of the Eurozone. And the fifth thing to note today is oil continues higher, with Trump-Iran standoff in focus. Crude prices continued higher, staying within sight of their highest levels in more than 3 years, bolstered by expectations that the U.S. will reinstate sanctions against Iran, a major oil producer. French President Emmanuel Macron said on Wednesday that he expected U.S. President Donald Trump to pull out of a deal with Iran reached in 2015, in which Iran suspended its nuclear program in return for Western powers lifting crippling sanctions. Our second story today comes by way of prnewswire.com. CME Group reports record first quarter 2018 financial results. CME Group, Inc. today reported record revenue of $1.1 billion and operating income of $741 million for the first quarter of 2018. Net income was $599 million, and diluted earnings per share were $1.76. On an adjusted basis, net income was $634 million, and diluted earnings per share were $1.86. Financial results presented on an adjusted basis for the first quarters of 2018 and 17 exclude certain items which are detailed in the reconciliation of non-GAAP results. Our third story today is from investing.com, and it poses the question, what's behind the sudden crypto market bullishness? This past week, the most popular cryptocurrencies suddenly started moving higher in tandem, seemingly without any fundamental catalyst. At the time of writing, for the past 7 days, Bitcoin is up 9.02%, currently trading at $8,822.50. Bitcoin Cash is up 52.9%, holy cow, trading at $1,328.73. Ethereum has moved 19.5% higher for the same period, now trading at $617.83. EOS is up 65.2% for the same period, and Ripple is up 13.97%. And our final story today comes by way of MarketWatch.com. U.S. trade deficit in goods dropped in March for the first time in 7 months. The numbers. The trade deficit in goods narrowed 10.3% to $68 billion, according to the government's advanced report released Thursday. This was the first narrowing of deficit in 7 months and came in well below the $73.4 billion estimate of economists polled by MarketWatch. The government's advanced report on wholesale inventories showed a 0.5% gain in March, and advanced retail inventories fell 0.4%. So what happened? Imports fell 2.1% in March, and the declines were widespread. Of the major categories, only auto imports rose in the month. Exports rose 2.4% during the month. The narrowing of the deficit in goods points to a smaller overall trade deficit in March. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use for today, April 26th, 2018, your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli, Trade Smart, and have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Options News Rundown. To learn more about these stories or any other developments from the world of options, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for free options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in option trader education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's live Advantage group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions@theoptionsinsider.com.